Hey, you guys, how's it going? I hope everybody's having a great Wednesday. I'm excited to be back live with you guys, and I'm making my annual staple pumpkin spice bread. It makes me happy, and while it may not seem like something you do before a hurricane gets here, because here we are, October, and here comes a hurricane. Um, it's what I'm doing right now because it's making me happy. So I made a batch before I went live, and the house smells amazing, and it was an immediate mood booster. But I want to see who's here with me. I just saw Jennifer, and I think Reagan or Chelsea are going to jump in with me. But that I love pumpkin spice bread so much that I have it twice on the website. They're very similar, so you could really grab either. But this is definitely the one that I can pretty much make without thinking about it. Um, I can recall the ingredients. So this is in the quick bread world. If you dive into older cookbooks, they'll have a quick bread section, and it's that sort of, is it bread? Is it cake? Does it matter? We eat it up all day. Definitely something that I have out for breakfast on Thanksgiving morning when things are really busy so that we can grab a slice of this. It's dense, it's hearty, it's spicy, and I just love it. So I'm just going to get started. So this is a really basic quick bread that uses a liquid oil as the fat versus butter. Sometimes you'll see them, well, they'll have part oil, part butter. This one's all oil, and I'm using not my pecan oil, but pecan oil that I carry in the shop. And I'm using Gidry pecan oil today. It is unfiltered, very, very flavorful. It's rich, it tastes nutty, and it's perfect for this bread. So I'm going to go in first with my sugar. So you're going in with liquid ingredients, and sugar is a liquid ingredient. So I'm going to add 3 cups of sugar. Yeah, it's a lot of sugar. Makes 3 big loaves. So I've got my sugar going in. That's my cup and a half measure. So I'm doing math. So I've got my sugar in. I'm going to get my pecan oil in. It's a cup. That goes in. I'm going to go ahead and get my eggs cracked in as well. So it's 3 eggs. Let me go here. Chickens are not laying as many eggs as usual as the days get shorter. They stop laying as many eggs. So I haven't been as generous with my eggs these days because I just don't have as many. So 3 eggs are in, and I'm going to go in with my can of pumpkin. So, not pumpkin pie filling, just pumpkin. You could certainly roast a sugar pumpkin. You want to end up with about a cup and a half of pumpkin puree. So, you would roast it, and um, depending on who is guiding you, some folks will say you need to press it through a sieve to catch the fiber, um, which is why I use canned pumpkin, and I use a lot of it this time of year. Okay, I've got my pumpkin in there. So the other thing I'm going to do with this bread is I'm going to go ahead and go in with my leaveners and my salt right now. So it is a full teaspoon of baking soda. Remember that soda is what we put in cookies and things that don't necessarily need to rise, but we want some crispiness and browning. So that's going to help this bread get nice and brown. And then there's a half teaspoon of baking powder, and that is going to give you some lift. And then a half a teaspoon of salt. So I've got that all going in. I'm going to go ahead and mix it in with my wet ingredients. And then all I need to do is add my spices and my flour. Okay, so up it goes, and then we'll make some noises here. But I hope you guys have been jumping in the kitchen to bake. And if you haven't, now's the perfect time, and this is the perfect recipe. So I'm going to get that all combined. I'm going to show you all what that looks like in just a second. But it's smooth. You don't want to see any lumps. Um, you could certainly do this by hand. I love my gadgets. So I've got this guy going, but I'm going to turn it on high just for a second, just to make sure I pull everything in there. And then I'm going to show you. It's just super smooth, and it's definitely looking like a batter. So let me get close on that guy. But super smooth, everything's incorporated. Um, this was way faster than roasting a pumpkin. But if that's what you do, I'm here for it. All right, so I've got that all really well mixed up. So then we go in with our flour, which is 3 cups, and a tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice. So this is not a seasonal blend at Red Stick Spice. We sell it all year long, and I love it. I use it all year long. I love it in oatmeal. One of my favorite things to do is put it in oatmeal. Just makes it super comforting and flavorful and really satisfying. So our pumpkin pie spice has a fair amount of clove and cardamom and allspice in it. So it's really a punchy pumpkin pie spice versus one that's just sort of mostly cinnamon. Okay, we're going on with a full tablespoon. This is also going to give the bread a really dark color. All right, in with the tablespoon of the pumpkin pie spice. And then we've got 3 cups of flour going in. So let me get my handy 1.5 cup measure. And let me get, let's see, I will use probably the handle of this guy. All right, so I want to tip that in, make sure I level it off. And I'm just going to go in with my 3 cups. And then I've made this so many times. I know I'm not going to have any issues. It's a really nice, pourable batter. So there's a 1.5 cups. Yeah, talking about pumpkin pie spice. Get you some. So we also have an apple pie spice. It's heavier on clove and mace. Um, Really, again, not a spice that we reserve for a season. It's here all year long. Whether you're making apple pie for the 4th of July or using it later in the year, it's always there. So apple pie spice is one that I find is really fun for pecan pie. If you want to mix up your pecan pie, grab that apple pie spice. But again, oatmeal, really, really good. Okay. And I'm going to turn it on and I'm going to mix it and I'm going to cross my fingers because you guys know I'm not here for baking that much. But I'm going to taste my batter and make sure everything's in there. But it's coming together beautifully. You puff this up a little bit. And I'm so glad you guys are here today. I've missed doing this and I love doing this with you all. So I want to see all those loaves of pumpkin spice bread. I want to see them. We want to see them on Instagram. And I want you to DM us with those pictures. Okay, I want to show you what happened. Because if you remember, right? Yeah, Jennifer's saying pumpkin pie or apple pie in a scone. Yeah. Okay, so it went from that bright orange to a more muted, dark color because of all those spices. Remember, we're using a tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice. And I think that's the thing that takes people by surprise in our classes is that, they say things. Hey there. Oh, I missed that one. Oh, help me, Chelsea. Um, They say things like, "You're heavy-handed," or "You use so much," but it's not that we're heavy-handed, it's that you really need to add in those spices to get all those full flavors. So a big batter like this is a big batter. That's 3 cups of flour. You need more than a teaspoon of extract or a teaspoon of spice blend. You need a lot more. So that's where that thinking behind that tablespoon comes from. This is amazing. Y'all never taste raw batter, but taste the batter. Pumpkin pie spice and apple pie spice. Yes, Jennifer. And banana muffins. I got some bananas right now that are ready for muffins or bread. Okay, I taste all the things. I get the salt. It's my number one mistake that I make is I forget the salt and I taste the spices. This batter is ready to go and it's a ton. So I'm going to get this. I'm just going to scrape through a couple of times just to make sure my beaters didn't miss anything. And I'm splashing it on the counter, and that won't happen to you. It's going to be perfect and neat and tidy when you do it. They dread me in the kitchen at work because of the messes I make. Okay, so these pans are smaller than am I right? A standard loaf pan. A loaf pan is 9 by 5 by 2 high. So that standard loaf pan that you make meatloaf in, these are smaller. So I'm definitely going to get 3 loaves out of this, possibly 4. Okay. I use nonstick spray. I don't I don't line this with parchment. They come out beautifully. They're super cooperative. So I'm just going to spray it with a little nonstick spray. And we're off to the races, you guys. Okay. I'm going to move this. That's a disaster waiting to happen. Here I go. It's fine. I got it. Okay. 2 loaf pans. I'm going halfway full. So you're going to get a modest crown on this bread. You don't have a significant amount of baking powder in this bread. It's a teaspoon for all this batter. So you're not getting a super rounded crown loaf from this, but it's going to rise a bit. It's also inherently a heavy batter because it's pumpkin. So if you think about pumpkin or bananas or apples, those are heavy. So you're not going to get a ton of lift from these. But I've just filled these halfway. And let's see. I think I'm just going to get the third from this. Yeah. It's just beautiful. The color is gorgeous. And the magic is about to take place. Just wait for it. So much fun. This is where you get to be ultra fancy and make it your own and be able to explain to the folks that you give this bread to, what is that on top? What did you do? And you're say, well, let me tell you about it. Okay, so we have a line of infused sugars. So I have 2 here today. I have ginger sugar and vanilla sugar. Look at this mess. It's not going to happen for you. But we have lots and lots at the store. So the perfect sugar for this bread would be our pumpkin spice sugar. But if you are really all about the spices, we have a clove sugar that a lot of people are like, clove sugar, but trust me, it's amazing. The other thing you can do is, and you're guaranteed happiness, is our cinnamilla sugar, which is adorable. We make this. It's Vietnamese cinnamon, sugar, vanilla powder, and we put it in these little bears so that you can sprinkle it and smile every single day on your cinnamon toast. But you have lots of options with our sugars or our cinnamilla sugar because you want to sugar the top of this bread because you want that crunch on the outside. So I'm going to do one of each. So I've got ginger sugar, which is beautiful. The granules are big and crunchy, like turbinado sugar, and just tons of ginger. That's lovely for rimming a glass for a cocktail. What? So good. All right, vanilla sugar, great seller in the store. No questions about vanilla sugar. You know, what do I do with vanilla sugar? Everybody knows the answer to that. So tons of that sold. That sugar's a little bit finer, and then lots and lots and lots of vanilla beans in there, and it smells divine. And then our cinnamilla sugar, and so adorable. And folks love this stuff, and lots of vanilla in it, and then that nice warm cinnamon. These go in the oven, a 350 oven, and the ones I did before took right at an hour. If you do the two standard size loaves, you're going to be about an hour and 10 minutes. It's going to fool you because it's going to be nice and brown on the outside, but be sure to use your skewer in the center and make sure it's done. You just want a few wet crumbs attached to the skewer when you check it. So it's super deceiving because it does get really brown quick from the spices and the pumpkin. But you want to make sure you check on it. Let's see how I did. So these are going with me to the shop to hand off to Jennifer to bake for her kids. And we're going to see how I did. Look, yum. They're beautiful. They're sturdy. They're just ready for wrapping up and taking over to a neighbor or bringing to a coworker. But just lovely, and that sugar is on top. And this is my cinnamilla sugar, and this is my ginger sugar. Yeah, Jennifer says, yay. Okay, and so a serrated knife is your friend, and so use that sawing action to get through there. But look at that. And here's the thing about this bread. It's lovely right now. Tomorrow, it's like everything gets married and kind of grows, and it's really, really delicious the next day. Oh gosh, with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, yum. All right, I'm going to stop with that one. I'm going to move over to this one. You guys can still see? Let's see, do that. So this is the ginger sugar. So it's a little bit of a larger grain sugar. So you're going to get a really nice crunch on that. And it's just beautiful. Hearty, great room temperature or warm. Beats the heck out of that pumpkin bread from those big box drive-through coffee places. Um, but just a beautiful pumpkin bread. Okay, let me come back so that I can talk to you guys with my mouth full, like I do every time. But big, sturdy slice of pumpkin bread. Mm. So I love the savoriness of this bread, the savoriness from the pumpkin. And despite what may seem like a lot of sugar, it's not a terribly sweet bread. And the spices really, really carry in this. And it's amazing right now. And it is going to be so spot on with my coffee tomorrow morning. Talking to you guys with my mouth full. Sorry, but I'm not sorry. That ginger sugar, that's amazing. Mm, that's really, really lovely. So this would be really nice in the morning, slathered with butter. It would be lovely with a little cream cheese. Because if you do find it sweet, oh, I love that ginger sugar. It's so good. Because if you do find it a little sweet, that Cream cheese would cut that a little bit, but super hearty, delicious, tastes like autumn, tastes like happiness, and I hope you guys try it. So, get yourself some pumpkin pie spice, a can of pumpkin, few pantry ingredients, and you are on your way to making 3 people happy because you're gonna make 3 nice sized loaves. All right, you guys, I love doing this. I will see you guys next week. I'll be working from the new Red Stick Spice test kitchen. And I'll see you all next week. I love you all. Make some pumpkin bread. See you later. Bye. Stay safe. Bye.